Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Barbara Fagan-Smith, Chief Catalyst for Living ROI, and this is Jennifer Rubin, one of my W3 women. There's just two of us today. But Jennifer, do you want to just introduce yourself real quick?
What would I say? Hi, Jennifer Rubin, friend at large, loving this group, entrepreneur, businesswoman, 6 retail stores that are creative lounges, and yeah, 2 amazing kids. Just put in a plug for them.
And in fact, it was our children that got us together. Our oldest kids who are now seniors in high school.
Applying to college.
Oh my gosh. So first, let me just explain. I'm going to change the format of Sold Out Sunday starting today. We were making it a working experience, and what you would fill out your Living ROI journal while we actually were doing this event. But now we're not going to do this. We're going to make it a shorter 15-minute event. We're going to talk about weekly planning in general and what people get out of weekly planning, right? And then afterwards, I want to encourage you to do your weekly planning, whether you're downloading a journal for free off of livingroi.com, or there's a journal starter that's shorter, or if you actually order the printed journal. So I'll just, we have ours, and it's like, they're getting all worn out. It's awesome.
Dog-eared.
So back in like April of 2013, I cannot believe it. I started doing weekly planning.
Yeah.
And I have always been into planning and doing vision boards. I've been doing vision boards, I don't know, for 12 years or something, a long time. But I started doing this concept of weekly planning, and I was doing it by myself. And then you and I were out for a hike. Do you want to pick up the story from there?
Let's see. We were hiking. I'm not sure where to look. We were hiking, and I was in a really low period, and you were sort of the friendship that I reached out to. And as we were hiking, we both sort of said, you had said, hey, what about getting together every week to do some planning? And I felt like that was a lot of, what I was needing was that support and the regularity of meeting and talking about what was important to me and actually defining it and writing it. And then we started. I don't know after that. I guess it was a few months. It was a while before we started.
Yeah, well, actually, right, it was November.
Right.
I just because I looked it up.
Yeah.
I looked up those original plans from back in 2013, and it's really interesting to look back. I don't know if you have lately,
I haven't.
but
what did you see?
Well, what I saw was some things that were the same. Let me try to pull it up real quick. I'll tell you. I have to get my glasses on. So some things that are really universal around my health, around my family. And then there actually one thing that I noticed was our process. So at one point, I have this massive one where we were trying to do so much.
It's true. So wait, I just
Look at
have
this
to
list.
say one thing. We did like epic amounts of work and goal setting, but you were iterative.
Yes,
in that like you were always going to different workshops and discovering new material and finding a way to kind of, hey, let's try this, let's try that. And this feels really consolidated. Like we used to meet for hours. Which was great, and I loved it, but then we all got busy, you know?
Right.
And so this is really nice. Like, we're really laser sharp when we work now.
Oh, my gosh.
And it's the format of this.
And after years, I mean, literally, and iterations over years, that we finally refined it. And when I said, hey, I really want to put this down in a book and share it with other people, then we got really serious and said, okay, what works, what doesn't work, how do we fit this all in? So, I was excited I still remember us on that hike and me thinking, oh, well, why don't we do this weekly planning together? Because I was sort of talking about it and telling you about it, and you were intrigued. Little did I know the power that it would have. And we have another person who joins us because we are W3. We'll talk about that in a minute. And it's in, sort of the story is in the journal about W3. But Jo Fleming couldn't be here today because she's living
living
ROI, man. She's in
running
Texas.
through the night in Texas right now.
Yeah. So W3, you came up with it.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to give us a name.
Right. And so, and I don't remember all the words. It was 3 W words. One was wild, one was women. One, I want to say wonderful, but that's too kind of milquetoasty.
Right,
I think we were more dynamic than that. And then 3, because there were 3 of us, and there were the 3 descriptors that we had. So we came up with, we just tightened it, and kind of the way language works. You forget how it really originated, but we ended up with W3. Yeah.
And it's been so great to have a name, to have an identity. And then we went through times where, we were a little less committed. There were times when we were very, very committed, and then we sort of like, well, I can't really come this week. And I remember I sort of said, guys, this is special, and we have to commit to it.
Yeah.
And we all wanted to. Yeah. But you remember that moment?
Yeah. And we all kind of hooked in. And I know for me now, over time, there were different struggles. There were times that, I don't know. I mean, this is there were times that I felt you and Jo were kind of doing the work and I couldn't make it. So I was sort of falling behind and maybe not quite part of it. And then we'd talk about it. And what was so great is, over time, we established this really good safe rapport between all of us, that I could bring that up. And now it's kind of become I can't wait to get there on Sunday and talk and share. And then after we have our sharing, it's really nice to sit down and do the work. I feel grounded, and I can kind of move forward on my week and what I want it to be. And I feel empowered because of you guys. So, it's been really great. Yeah. It's been really great.
That's great. Yeah. And so let's talk a little bit about the work. So the idea is to really be intentional about how you're living your life. And at one point when we were doing the work, we felt as though we were just having kind of a big list of to-dos, and that's not what we wanted. Yeah. So it's a series of inflection points that you go through, and it's a 30-minute practice. It's really quite easy to do, and so I'll talk about it in more detail initially. But what we do when we meet is we get together first, and we spend the first 30 minutes just catching up, and just each of us talks for about 10 minutes.
We each get 10 minutes.
Yes,
which is actually good, because otherwise you
use
can
my
go
iPhone.
off the you can go off the side rails.
I do it so I don't talk too much, and it's good for Jo and Jennifer so that they use all of their time.
Right.
So
she forces us to finish, because sometimes we'll just kind of
That's all I've got to say. It's like, no, there's more.
Well, and then stuff inevitably comes up.
Yeah,
so it is
that's
good.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. And we just check in on our lives, what's happening with you, with your business. So we're all entrepreneurs, but you might be with a group. We're all mothers as well, so we have that in common. So you might be with a group from work, you might be with some old friends, you might be with your partner, even your kids. In fact, my daughter did it with us last week, which was neat.
Yeah, it was nice.
And we spent 30 minutes catching up and in touching base, and sometimes there's something important that we really need to talk about because something's happened that week or we have something on our mind. And then after that, we do 30 minutes timed, again, going through the journal. And the first part of it is reiterating your top goals for the year. And do you want to just kind of talk about that? What's the value of that for you?
I mean, so there's a number of things. We go through our goals for the year and really hash them out, but to actually rewrite them every week is reminding. It calls me forward. I can finesse it each week when I know what's up and what's going on. And I think it guides your list. I mean, I can call it a list of things to do, but setting the goals guides. Then once you sort of, it's a tuning fork, and once you tune to that, then as you write your list of things to do, it's more congruent with what you really want to be doing or what you feel like you should be doing.
Yeah, that's right, which to achieve sort of those bigger goals. And then the second one is something that I just love, which is celebrating last week.
Yeah.
So it's reflecting back. And we are always amazed at like, oh my God, I did so many things. And we forget.
Right.
Totally forget.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's nice, at least for me with my personality, is it's nice to be forced to really look back and say, wow, I can dismiss all of it, and it's nice to have to come up with a list of like, wow, how much I did, but feel good about it, feel rewarded about it too.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So.
And then the next section, which is, what is your best week? If you had the best week possible, taking into account what's scheduled, it's really thinking about what's going to make it a great week, because sometimes we just go through the motions of life, right?
And picturing that makes a difference, right?
Yeah.
And all of this is stuff I've learned and done just with that. I don't think I normally would have.
Right, no, right. It's a
Done it.
practice. It's a practice, because otherwise we don't do it.
Right.
It's
Well
it's
said.
really like conscious living.
Consciousness.
Yeah, intentional living, soulful living.
Yay! Yay!
Yay! And let me just also
So glad
say,
we have this.
I am too. Also, just want to say that it's so not perfect. It sounds like we've been doing this for 4 years, but we have good weeks and we have weeks that are harder, but more good weeks because of it.
Right.
More and directionally achieving things that we're like, whoa, can you believe that this happened? I had it on my vision board. I had it as a goal, and it's like.
Well, and now we all share perspective. Like I can see how far Joe's come or how far you've come because I knew the seedling of the goal that you established and how long ago that was.
Right.
So,
So the power of the group.
it's not perfect. We like all the tears and.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's perfect in that way, in that we just kind of get to be where we are, and that's what helps us move forward.
And it's real, because life is messy.
Yeah.
Life is messy. What we do is we laugh a lot.
Right.
God, it's so great. And we laugh when, I don't know, just it brings joy, lightness, and companionship to it. We live so many parts of our lives alone or with different segments of people, and this is a point once a week where we come together and we share it all.
Yeah.
It's like the good, the bad, the ugly.
All of it. And how much I learned from you guys. Like, we've gotten to a point where we are so open and disclosing, and I learn about parenting and business, and we all have our different endeavors that kind of cross, and I learn a ton from hearing you guys talk. And it's not just about what to do, but it's about goals. Like, you have big, lofty goals, and when I hear you say something, I'm like, oh, yeah, that'll trigger something for me that I want to do. So.
We're 1 + 1 + 1 = 10 or 100 even. It's the power of group. It's the power of having more than one person sitting by yourself, thinking thoughts and trying to figure it all out. So how about habits? How have habits been for you? The section on habits.
I guess the section and writing about it, I miss every week. Like, I don't hit my mark. Like, I just keep thinking, this week maybe I'll do it.
I think I do too. I think every single week.
Every week.
Yeah.
But what it does is truly, when I wake up in the morning, I want badly, but don't always do it, to have a specific routine of like grounding or meditating or walking the dog, and so it gets mixed up as the week goes on, but it makes me conscious, at least, of where I want to be headed. I definitely set a goal for reading more and listening to more podcasts instead of just kind of veggie downtime.
And you mean like playing
Backgammon.
computer games? Yours is backgammon, mine's 2 dots. I like spend money. It's so embarrassing.
I don't. I won't gamble at all.
So, just to, and we'll talk more about this in coming episodes of Sold Out Sunday.
Yeah.
But I just want to encourage all of you to take some time, and even if you just download the weekly plan from livingroi.com and sit and do it by yourself. I did it by myself for 6 months or so before I started doing it with W3. I just want to encourage you to do that. We're going to end and wrap up now so that you have time to do it. And we didn't get through all of it, but next week I think we're going to have Joe with us too, and I'll have other people on interviewing them and helping to, share more examples of what this work can do for you. So go out, plan, have a great time. Your life is waiting. Thank you.